Before we dive in, I've got something for you. If you're studying for the ARE, you don't need to figure it out alone. Inside my free resource hub, you'll find study guides, resource guides, pop quizzes, and other tools designed to make exam prep a whole lot easier. Head to dci.beyoungdesign.com/resources or check the link in the show notes to grab it now. It's completely free. All right, enjoy the show.
I haven't seen your face in a while. You haven't heard my voice or seen my face in a while because over the last 5 weeks, I have been full-time stay-at-home mom and also running a business. So the time to come get like a quiet moment here to record has been nearly impossible. But I'm doing it. I'm here. Hi. And I want to help you today. If you have been stuck for more than 60 days, in taking your ARE, then this is for you. All right, let's do it. So welcome back to Design, Create, Inspire with me, Bryn Young. I want to help you today. If you have been stuck for more than 60 days with taking your exams, then I want to give you some tips. Now, I'm saying this is a little bit different because this is going to be a little bit more fast-paced. I'm going to keep it pretty raw edited because, again, I just want to get you content. I have recorded maybe like 5 episodes in the last 5 months or something ridiculous because it has been nearly impossible to do so. So I'm going to try to just take like 30 minutes out of my day when I can secretly haul myself away and record something, but just keep it a little bit more raw so that at least something is out to you. Also, on the podcast, there is now a new text feature, which I'm really excited about because especially on the podcast, I don't really get to hear from you very much. Over on YouTube, you can comment and we can interact a lot more. So if you're on YouTube, definitely you can still continue to do that. If you're on the podcast, there's a button below that says text me, and you can text me any questions you have, any topics you want me to cover, anything you want to do, even if it's like a review, although you can still send out in your 5-star review and rate the show, all that stuff, because that helps the show a lot, which not enough of you are doing. So please go do that. That will help. But send me a text message and then I can have your question or topic or anything like that on the air. So look for that in the podcast. Okay, today, if you are an emerging professional and you want to pass the ARE, this is for you. I am not here to say you need to pass all your exams in 60 days. I actually don't say that ever, so don't mistake that. But if you've been stuck for 60 days or more, then this is for you. Now, what does that look like? That means if you're procrastinating studying or taking your exam, if you have failed an exam and you can't get yourself to get in there and take another one, if you have rescheduled an exam, or if you've been studying for the same exam for more than 60 days. This is for you. Okay, so first I want you to kind of figure out what box you're in. So I just mentioned all kind of different scenarios. So it could even be like you've decided to start taking your exams and then now it's been 60 days and you're still gathering resources and wanting everything to be perfect before actually getting in there and taking it. The only way to really learn from these exams and to see where you're at is to get in there and to take the exam. We can take as many practice questions and quizzes and all that stuff and determine like, okay, well, we're hitting 70%, 80%, but really you won't know until you get in there, especially if it's your very first exam. You really don't know what to expect from these exams until you get in there and you take it for the real deal. So I want to encourage you to get in there and take it. And again, this doesn't mean I'm saying you need to take them all back to back in a short amount of time or pass them all in 60 days or anything like that. It's just creating some sort of plan and then creating some sort of consistency. Because these exams take an average of 2+ years to pass. So the idea of passing them all within 6 months or something is really not, I don't want to say not attainable, because people can do it. It's just really tough and puts a lot of pressure on yourself. At the same time, if you are really passionate about this, your goal is to pass and become a licensed architect, then you want to do it within a reasonable amount of time so that it's not constantly weighing on you. Because if it's something that you're passionate about and that you really want to happen, the longer you drown it out, the heavier it gets and the more you'll feel it and the harder it will seem to do. So I always like to say the average time it takes is 2 years. See if you can do it within that time. I just had to stop real quick because there was a bark at my back door. I looked, there were 3 animals sitting there wanting to come inside. I have a puppy, a dog, and a baby goat. And so now they're in. So if you hear a goat in the background, story of my life, that's what all this real and raw footage is going to be like. Okay, where was I at? So you want to figure out a proper timeline within there. The other thing that I'm really, really passionate about, and that's really important, is life balance. You've got to integrate life within this exam timeline. You're going to have things come up. You're going to have weddings, birthdays, holidays, things that are not worth missing. Maybe you're a parent and you have life like me where there's certain seasons that you have to slow down on some things. You may also work in a really high demanding job. That will also factor into your schedule. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to look at the big picture. How many exams do you have left to pass? Maybe it's all of them, maybe it's 2, and create a realistic schedule. I personally like to figure 6 to 8 weeks to study for an exam. Depends on the exam. Again, it depends on your schedule, depends on what you need. That is for a single exam. I personally prefer to study for one exam at a time and build off of each other. Yes, there are certain exams that have overlapping information, but you can use it as a foundation and then build up, rather than studying for them all at once. They're really big exams, each one. Even if there's quote unquote easier exams, they're still hard exams. So if I would go into it thinking, okay, 6 to 8 weeks for one exam, then build off of that. The thing too is some people are like, well, I want to study for all exams or like 3 exams at once because the information overlaps and like I just want to do it all at once. But first, that's added pressure. So if you are already procrastinating, if you're listening to this because you're already stuck, stop doing that because it's adding pressure. It's feeling like this perfectionism that I have to get it all, otherwise I can't do any. So don't do that. The other thing is that the information will not leave your brain as soon as you take it. And again, it's a building up process. So there's information that you will learn as a foundation, for example, contracts in practice management that you will need and learn and use for PEJM and also CE, but you can learn it for practice management and then go deeper for CE. So go to a deeper level. Same thing like PA. There's certain information that will be needed for PPD and PDD, but at a deeper level, at a more micro level. So get the foundation, then build up. So that's your very first step, is figure out what exams you have left to pass. Figure out a proper timeline using 6 to 8 weeks for the exam. Now, do not figure like, okay, then 6 weeks and then 6 weeks for the next one. There's a buffer week. So inside the Ultimate Study Plan, I have a 6-week study plan that's detailed out what to study, where to study it each week for 6 weeks. I make sure it's really important that in there I say extend that if you need it or reduce it as needed, but this is a rough outline that you can use to maybe one week is really a lot of information, break that into 2 weeks. It's also really important at the end of those study plan, week 5 and 6, depending on what exam it is, there's a break week. It's like a refresher week. You're not hitting the books hard. You're, going over notes. After you take the exam, you need to breathe a little. You need to celebrate a little. So take a few days before you're jumping right back into it. So I like to give, 3 to 5 days to celebrate, to recoup, to live a little, then get back into it. So that 6 to 8 weeks might look like, all right, 6 weeks, I'm going to study, go take this exam. Then I'm going to have a week buffer. Then I'm going to start the 6 to 8 weeks for my next exam. Within that time frame, actually look at a calendar and be like, okay, I have my nephew's graduation this day. This weekend I have a wedding. This weekend is 4th of July, so I'm not going to figure that. We're also getting into summertime, so what does that look like? And factor that in. Because when you do that and when you plan for that, you don't hold guilt when you take the time to enjoy. And it's the best way to create balance. It's also the best way to get you moving into action, because when you have a date, you have a deadline, you have something to move forward to. There's the law of the vacuum. So if you have an infinite amount of time, meaning there's no deadline, you will always fill it with something else, and there will always be time. If you create a deadline, then you have a specific date, then now you can fill in that space with the studying, and you will get it done by that deadline. Now, if scheduling it for that specific time feels, again, like too much pressure, then that's fine. Just have it as a deadline date, and then have even a note in your schedule a week out that is what you're going to schedule. That date, you'll schedule it for the next week. But you'll still have it scheduled. You'll still have it planned out. So really, that's, again, the first step is just looking at the calendar and just marking it down. Now, make sure you include fails. So the pass rate is give or take 50%. So just figure you're going to fail some exams. If you don't, great. If you do, you don't all of a sudden feel like, oh my gosh, my whole timeline's sabotaged. What am I going to do? You'll have something to kind of buffer it. When I was doing this, when I was taking my exams, I buffered in a couple fails, and I ended up failing a couple more than what I buffered. So I had to adjust the time frame and the timeline. That's okay. That happens. But at least you have a framework that you can now adjust and move with. And when you do this, it's a lot harder to procrastinate for 60 days because you have this plan. Now, before I jump into the next concept, is that
quick break. If this podcast is helping you, imagine having an entire library of study content, 1,000+ practice questions, and a community of people who actually get what you're going through. That's what you'll find inside the ABC Club. And if you're ready for even more support, ABC Club Premium includes my full Mind Over ARE program, plus live coaching calls. Whether you're on your first exam or your last, this is where you'll stay motivated and on track. Learn more at dci.beyoungdesign.com/ABC Club.
I do want you to give yourself grace. We are coming into summertime, and summertime, sometimes, you want to go on vacation or you want to spend more time with family. My dream is to one day take the summer off. Our kids take summer breaks, so I want to take summer breaks too. And if you're studying for your exams, just understand that there are different seasons for exams as well. So for you, summertime might be like the time to hit it, the time to really get it going. And maybe the wintertime, the holidays, is when you're slowing it down. Or maybe the summertime, you are taking more time off and spending more time with family, or the kids aren't in school, so you're with them more often. And so that's your slowdown period. So just figure out what works best for you, and don't get distracted by the person next to you. If the person next to you has a season where summertime is their go period and that's not yours, then whatever. If they have planned to take 3 exams this summer and that means they're going to finish, that's okay. That doesn't mean that's your plan. And so don't get distracted or feel bad or feel like you should be doing anything if that doesn't work for you. So find out what works for you and make that work. If summertime is your go season, we are having our last Mind Over ARE cohort starting in just a couple weeks in mid-May. This is going to be our last cohort before the fall. So this is, if you are summer go period, this is like when you want to get it all done before the fall, then definitely join this group of Mind Over ARE. There's a link in the show notes where you can get on the wait list. If this is after and you're still listening, check it out. We're either open for enrollment or it's closed and there's a wait list down there. So check it out. But okay, one word that I just said that I want to just highlight on a little bit more is should. We need to all stop shoulding on ourselves, especially with these exams. Like, I should finish within this time. I should pass on this round. I should be done because of this. When we should on ourselves, it leads to nothing but disappointment and frustration and missed opportunities and not hitting expectations and disappointment. So stop shitting on yourself. We all are different, and shouldn't even be, I just used it, but it really shouldn't be in our vocabulary. I mean, should is like for who and what, okay? So next time you're like, oh, I'm feeling really burned out, but I know I should take this exam. Instead, be like, okay, I'm feeling really burned out. I want to take this exam because I want to be licensed, but I'm tired and I'm going to take a break. Or I'm tired, but this is really my top priority and I'm going to make time for it. Do you see that? Like, when we remove should, we actually create an answer. We're not just saying I should do this. We're saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do or this is what I'm not going to do. So just practice that. See if you find yourself saying, I should be doing something, I should not be doing something, and try to replace it with an actual action item. Okay, so you've procrastinated for 60 days. You now have your schedule. See what else is coming up. Maybe it is part of those shoulds, but see what else is coming up and why that procrastination is there. Maybe it is a time constraint. So if it's a time constraint, figure out what your priorities are. And if this is one of your top priorities, it might mean reducing the level of a different priority. Like, something else needs to go on the back burner for a little bit, but it won't be forever. These exams don't take forever, right? I mean, you could say it's taken you a decade. You could say these exams take forever. But if it's taken you a decade, I am guessing it hasn't been your top priority and you haven't been designating a good amount of time to it. Because that's the other thing. It's not about like you can pass in 6 weeks. It's about the amount of time. Because I could spend 6 weeks looking at the sky and 30 minutes studying, and you could spend the next 6 weeks spending, 10 hours a week studying and taking your exam. You probably need a little bit more than that, but you know what I mean? So it's depending on the quality and not even just the hours. I see these logs of, oh, it took me this amount of hours and I spent 30 minutes doing this and 50 minutes doing this. And so this is how I passed because I spent 1,000 hours doing it. It's like, okay, but what is the quality of those hours? Because me personally, before I figured out the right strategy to study, an hour before I figured out the right strategy versus an hour after were totally different qualities. the one before, I could read a textbook and zone out, and it was like going in one ear and out the other, or in one eyeball and out the brain. It was not staying put. I wasn't registering it. I wasn't retaining it. So that is very different versus having a proper strategy and knowing how to study and what to study, how to effectively study so that that hour equals 10 hours versus this hour equaling like 5 minutes. So figuring out what works best for you. I help with a lot of that inside Mind Over ARE, inside the ABC Club. I have all sorts of resources for you. So if that's something you don't know how to do and you want to go deeper, reach out, check out some of my resources. But yeah, so the quality of your hours, your time spent is what's important. So, okay, where was I? So you have the time frame, you have the goal, the plan of when you're going to study, what you're going to study, how you're going to study, and then all you got to do is take micro actions and hold yourself accountable on those micro actions. Oh, that's right. I was talking about priority. So making it a priority. So now it's a priority. You got that. But now just take those little tiny steps towards it. Maybe it's even like leaving your textbook out on your table so you can see it, or joining the ABC Club and getting our information, our weekly or our monthly emails. And so that's holding you accountable. So you're remembering to study. Or you have a group, an accountability group that you meet with every week. Or you are putting Post-it notes on your bathroom mirror. And so every time you brush your teeth, you study for 10 minutes afterwards. There's tricks and tips and things that you can do that don't have to be these monumental things, but it gets you into movement. And a lot of times after a fail, it can be really hard, almost feel impossible to get back into that movement. So especially for you, if you have experienced a fail recently, or even if it was not recently, but it really hit hard, take it slow and just take it one step at a time, one section at a time, and slowly get back into it. And you might find that doing that reinvigorates the excitement and the reason why you're doing this, and you're going to be more inclined to get back to it. So just get started. Okay. If you have been stuck for more than 60 days, start with these few items. Come back to me. Let me know how it goes. You can hit, again, that text message button in the podcast and just let me know if you want me to go deeper and give more examples or more ideas. But I want you to just start with Just start with this. Make it your top priority. See what you're prioritizing in your life right now, and how can you add this to the top. Schedule it out. Really make a plan and make it realistic. Fit in the holidays, the life outside of the exams. Don't make it so intense that you don't end up doing it. And then take small steps, little baby steps. Just take the first action, and action will help you get into movement. Okay. I hope that was helpful. If you have been delayed for more than 60 days, I have tons of resources for you. Like I say, the ABC Club, that is our the least investment opportunity to work with me. And then up to Mind Over ARE, which we do have enrollment coming up soon. That is the best. Mind Over ARE is the best for accountability. So if you are really, I just got an email this morning from one of our members saying, like, I've never been more lit on fire before. So if you need that, join Mind Over ARE. Come even just join me on Instagram at Be Young Design for just inspiration, just motivation. Be like, okay, yeah, I should study. Okay, here's a little quiz. Okay. So all sorts of options. And then I would just want to hear from you of what action you have taken, what has worked. And if you have been delayed, I want to hear when you schedule your exam and when you go in and take it. because I promise if you take these small steps, this little bit of change, it really will make a huge difference. Okay? I hope I will be back on here soon. Life, like I say, is just kind of all up in the air. And so consistency for me right now is a little difficult for this. But I love it. I love you and I want to be here more. And I hope that this helps. And in the meantime, if you haven't gone back to our whole category or catalog of episodes and you need support and you want help and you're not in our programs where I'm in there helping, then go check out all of our back catalog. I think we have like over 200 episodes. So hopefully that can help you as well. In the meantime, have a wonderful day. You didn't hear the goat too much, so it wasn't too bad. Okay, I will talk to you soon and come hang out with me on Instagram, say hi, and yes, okay, bye.
Thanks for listening today. Hey, remember, you've got free resources waiting for you at dci.beyoungdesign.com/resources. And when you're ready for deeper support and to come hang out with us, join us inside the ABC Club and ABC Club Premium, where you are going to get the help you need to pass your exam and actually enjoy the process. So don't let another week go by without moving forward. Take action. You got this. Check the links in the show notes and join us inside the club.